Warning, death for drug traffickers under Singapore law. Okay, this is a hot pot. You put it in there, it cooks. You put it in the sauce, in here, and then eat it. What is this, Jackie?
That's just some sauces. Who they recommend?
Some sauces you recommend? Yeah. Cool. These are all different sauces. So you take one and then you mix your own, basically. It's pretty good. Like that. It's my final product. So I got spring onion, let's see, Korean barbecue and some garlic and some more stuff. It's boiling.
Okay, you ready? Oh, okay.
And aftermath. Alright, looking for the bus location as usual. Going to Singapore, let's see. Alright, so we are on the bus and now we're gonna go through the customs. We're at Singapore. Same thing happened actually in Mexico too. A similar experience, and now we're gonna go get our passport stamped. Okay, yeah, this is pretty much like the border here. Waiting for her, so everybody's coming out this way. So the bus is, my bus is right there, and we just go through the building apparently to cross the border. You get it stamped, and then you go on, you get your bus again, you get on your bus and you move on into Singapore. That's our bus right there, and this is how it is if you're not flying in. And yeah, waiting for Jackie now. That's our bus right there we're trying to get, and let's see where she is. Yeah, mine was pretty quick. I don't know, she's taking some time. Alright, let's see. Let's see, she's coming. Alright, it's taking a while. I'm just gonna wait, I guess. Took you so long.
I don't know.
Did they question?
No, they didn't question. I think she got confused about the date.
The date?
I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know.
Mine was pretty quick.
Yeah.
Mine was so quick. It was like, hi sir, just stamp, and that's it.
She could check the date and check the date and check the
Oh,
date
yeah?
and check the date.
Oh, she was jealous. She
Jealous
was
of
jealous.
what? Of what?
I don't know, girls get jealous of each other. No? Okay. Welcome to Singapore.
It's not Singapore anymore.
Yeah, we just crossed the border. It is Singapore. Okay, we're crossing now. There. We're crossing the bridge now into Singapore. Actually, where we were before, we were crossing the Malaysian customs. And now we're going to go through the Singapore customs. And this is what we have to fill out here. This is what we have to fill out here. And this is very interesting here actually. Warning, death for drug traffickers under Singapore law. So they're pretty strict about this stuff, as you can see. And yeah, and we'll see. We're crossing now. Okay, checkpoint number 2. And now we're gonna go through the Singapore. Uh-oh. No cameras allowed. Yeah, so they're gonna search our bags and everything. This is too loud. And then the bus is gonna pick us up. Alright, we are back on the bus.
We made it.
Yeah, we made it. It was pretty straightforward, really. Okay, this is the first glimpse at Singapore.
It's expensive spot.
And there's a ship up there.
Yeah, it's a hotel.
There's the other side. Thank you guys for watching. So we're going to be exploring Singapore in the upcoming episode. And we just crossed the border. It turns out, by the way, I want to get into this a little more detail now. When you are crossing the border by bus or by land, you know, whatever you call it, by land, or by bus or by car, it's by land. And when you're crossing a border, there's a bridge that goes into Singapore. And there are 2 checkpoints. So when you're crossing from Malaysia into Singapore, first you have to go through the Malaysian customs. Get your passport stamped, and then you move on to the Singapore customs. And then again, there's another process. When you're on the bus, you know, you can leave your belongings when you're leaving Malaysia, but you have to take your bag with you, and then you go through the customs of Singapore, get your passport stamped, and then, you know, they kind of look through your stuff. If they do, then you just basically walk in. And again, the same thing happens when you're returning from Singapore. The first checkpoint is Singapore customs. You leave, you don't have to take your stuff. You can leave it on the bus, and then you go through the customs. You literally walk through a building, the bus is waiting for you, and then you get on the bus, and then you move on to the Malaysian customs. You take your belongings with you, your luggage or your backpack, get it stamped, your passport, and then the bus is waiting for you. You want to remember your bus. You do want to remember your bus. Most of the times the drivers usually, you know, run after you. They always count, you know, how many people are on the bus, always count. That's very important, I think, for them and for this business, I think, not leaving anybody behind. And then you get on the bus and then you move on. Basically, you know, this was an interesting experience for us. For us, I think for you too, for both of us, this was our second experience crossing border by land. Is it? In Europe, that doesn't count because
Mexico.
In Europe, we crossed from one country to another in Europe before, but it's the European Union. There's no borders. There are borders. There are like military vehicles, you know, standing by, but they don't usually stop and check usually because it's like one big nation and not at the same time. But we did it in Mexico before. We walked actually. We got in line with a bunch of Mexicans. It was full of Mexicans. Full of them. I said, does it sound racist or do I make it sound racist? Probably not. So we were, again, it was an interesting experience actually. You know, and yeah, we crossed it. Now, what did we do? We took another bus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we took another bus. It's a whole different story. Maybe I can talk about that in another video. And yeah, this was a crossing border episode. Now we are in Singapore. Not now. We're actually back in Kuala Lumpur now. But in the upcoming video, we are going to be exploring a lot of Singapore. Singapore is a city-state, by the way. It isn't a city. It isn't a country. It's a country and a city together, by the way. For those who don't know, Singapore is a city-state. It's like a one big city island. Very advanced. Yeah, we're gonna be exploring more, and if you guys like our videos, please like and subscribe, and drop your comments down there if you have any questions, any corrections, anything. We really appreciate that, and we will see you guys in the next video. We'll see you guys. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.